afternoon and welcome. And today is The Promised Neverland Season 2, Episode 8. Now, this is where I never thought I'd say this, but if you're watching this, you're not going to believe what I'm going to say. I kind of find this episode pretty good. Surprisingly good. I mean, we haven't got a good episode since Episode 2. And now we're going to Episode 8, and I gotta say, like I said, I find this episode quite surprisingly great. I mean, sure, it skipped 4 arcs, but looking at this episode, I gotta say, I was impressed. I'm shocked. I'm kind of shocked how it is. I mean, like, I understand it's not following the manga route, but the way how they did in this episode, it makes you, like, understand, like, what they were trying to do in this episode. Because, like I said, we haven't got a good, decent episode since Episode 2. And now, moving forward with this season, it's kind of shocking to say that Episode 8 was pretty good. Now, last week's episode, Norman was coughing up blood, and I knew that we're going to get a flashback somewhere about Norman's backstory, about what he was doing in the lab. So, and then we got that. Now, the whole theme of this episode was action speaks louder than words. And what we got in this was the theme, the lesson behind this episode, the moral lesson behind this. Action speaks louder than words. I'm sorry, action speaks louder than words. There, I said it right. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about this review of Episode 8. Let's do it. So we got the whole spotlight was about Norman. The entire thing was about Norman. The flashback kind of gave us what we wanted from Norman. Like, what happened when Isabella took him there? And then, did Norman die or did this? What would happen? He took him to the place where he met Peter. Yes, Peter. Finally, we get to see Peter, the antagonist behind all this. Now, I know that the manga didn't follow it much, but at least we get to see Peter. So now we get to see what he was doing in the lab. They gave him difficult questions to take, ace perfect scores on his charts, and also you get to see the what he's been doing lately, like eating on a regular basis, taking pills, doing needles. He encountered Vincent and the others, communicating through paper through these boxes, and then you see like humans and demons are working in the lab. And then on the one side, you see like teddy bears and all that stuff. But on the other side, you'll see like demons eating humans. Another thing that's finding a little creepy enough about this episode was that it was kind of looking at people are dying through like the needles and demons. It's so many deaths in this laboratory that was so experimental to see how that goes, And then Norman. We got, like I said, the flashback show about how Norman was in the lab and how he escaped. So we get to see how he escaped with the other 3 people. And now you get to see how he killed all the demons. You know what I mean? Now, I give props for that moment of little flashback. I wish they'd done more of his flashback with him in the lab, but, they're trying to pace it up. But from that moment, flashback of him, you kind of like, what? Short and simple. They short, slow and steady wins the race. It's kind of like that. So they kind of made it like the pace of it to make it easy to understand how Norman ended up meeting Peter and what he was doing in the lab. So it all makes sense in some ways. Also, that's how he got the pen to begin with. That's how he got the pen. So again, everything makes sense. Now to Emma's side. So Emma, Gilda, Ray, whatever. Dawn, there you go, Dawn. That's almost like gone. Dawn, they're out there looking for Mujiga and Sundra, and they got 5 days to do so. As they were going through so many forests and so many unlikely demons with, the forest through these unlikely demons, they are almost there. They were out of time. They were almost there. Then they encountered this weird-ass CGI demon. Yes, this I gotta be honest. The CGI demon looks... but at least they were trying to fight down the demon. And to give them props for defending themselves with bow and arrows. You know what I mean? They gotta do this for Sasha from Attack on Titan. Rest in peace, Sasha. But still, the way how they doing this is like, they're doing this for Sasha because Sasha's good with a bow and arrow, from Attack on Titan. But again, that's how it is. So again, they were defending themselves with bow and arrow, and they did a hell of a good job. Emma put up a fight, and Ray put up a fight with it and shot in one of the eyes. And then, just when everything was good, it's that reaction where it's like, yeah. And then here come the demon cut. And then here come Mujiga and Sanju saved them. Right off the gate. They saved Emma. Now, this is where Norman became the light Yagami. In my opinion, I think he became like the light Yagami of the whole retrospective of this. Because in that moment, he knew he could never let Emma oh, I give you 5 days. That's bullshit. I mean, literally, he just lied. He lied. He knew what he was going to do. He lied. He's like, sorry, you could call me a god or evil, a god or a devil, but I'm going to go with my plan. And that face, when he said that, it's like, do you like Norman fans? Promise Neverland fans, do you like Norman or do you not? That's where it kind of triggered people right now. Is this guy more like the light Yagami or not? So when I look at that scene, I'm like, you know what? I felt some light Yagami vibe just by him saying that. You gotta see him as a god or a devil. I don't care. And just when Emma found them, boom, blows up. They went to the village and blows shit up, killing people, turning demons into killing other demons, and it was so fucked up. Now, you broke a promise. They found them. Could have waited till tomorrow, but they went with the plan anyway. Now, this is where I find this episode surprisingly good. The soundtrack as well. If you listen to the soundtrack of this episode, understand the soundtrack was hella amazing. It was hella amazing. Not only that, the animation of the demons and all that, it was really good. Now, again, it's kind of sad to see these demons die. I know that sounds crazy, but just by watching these scenes with these little demon children, it's like, Daddy, Mommy, where are you? It's those things that makes you like, you know what? I feel bad for the demons. I know that, okay, I get it. They eat humans. Okay, I get that. But just by looking at them, crying for the loss of their mom, their dads, their sisters, whatever. It was those moments that makes you like, oh. Especially that scene where the little demon cat was carrying the baby. That's kind of like, oh my God, you want to feel sad for them. It's so sad to see that, you know what I mean? And then Norman being all Norman that he is, he was gonna kill the little demon girl. And almost stabbed until call out Emma. That's the girl's name. That's the demon girl's name, Emma. And the grandpa showed up and saved her. And in that moment, Norman, it's like that, in that moment triggered Norman so much that he hesitated to kill a child nonetheless. A demon child nonetheless. I mean, I got a demon, but it's still a child nonetheless. So his reaction is so hesitated to know what to do. Can I do it? I can't do it. And the grandpa stopped him. He knew he's like, you're a human. And then Norman stabbed him, and then grandpa halted with his hand and got the blood and made the demon girl not get and turn into infected, but use the blood that he has to make her back to normal. And that scene where the demon grandpa and the grandchild was just it was so emotional that impacted Norman. And then remember I said action speaks louder than words. And by looking at what Norman see as everybody's crying and the suffering they had that they're dealing with, Norman kind of Emma was right. In that moment, Emma was right. It was what? All these people are suffering. He sees it now. He sees what Emma was talking about. He sees why Emma's saying, don't kill the demons. Because they're suffering, because the demons are also suffering too. And the emotions and everything that they lost, they see it through. But it's too late now, Norman. You burn the place up. You got people infecting people. You got people killing people. And then you burn the villages down. Come on. Now that it's that moment triggers Norman. And then when Emma and Ray saw Norman with the blood in his hand and a knife, it got that reminiscent like him crying as a child, and then reverted back to his self. And that right there is one of those things where he's like, you know what? Now, Norman, shut the hell up and listen to Emma. Now you know. And that's how it ended. Now, here's the thing. Overall, I kind of find this episode very surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. I mean, we got a flashback of Norman, you know, how he escaped from the research lab and his whole plans, and now that he sees what's going on now, it's kind of good. I mean, and again, I'm surprised that they made this episode good. I mean, sure, it didn't follow the whole arcs, but at least they gave us something to hold on to in this episode. Just giving you a thought. But like I said, this episode kind of gave you a thought of like, you know what? Society is so cruel. Maybe we don't have to do this or do that. We could just find a way to find peace in both humans and demons. And just like with Norman's reaction in the end, he sees the truth behind it, and the society and the humanity that they have right now is kind of like that. So now Norman's gonna have to revert that. Plot wise, it's really good. You know what I mean? Now the plot changes for Norman now. Like Norman's goal now is gonna be different now that Emma and Ray's back. And with Emma's help, maybe Emma could find the ways for Norman to apologize and figure out a way to get everything back in shape. So we don't know how that is. Also, I don't know where Phil is. I mean, they show in the opening with Phil in it. So I guess we're gonna show Phil, maybe not. But like I said, interesting episode, surprisingly good. Let's see where this goes now. So I look forward for next week's episode. And like I said, with a few weeks down the road, when spring comes, we all know everybody's looking forward for a few shows. But when this show's about to end, who knows? Maybe people may not watch it or not. Well, maybe not. So again, thank you for watching a review of Promised Neverland Season 2, Episode 8. I look forward for Episode 9, and I hope you will.